This week was very interesting. I had one loss and one break even, but a lot happened. We keep learning a lot. Let's get into it. So first I want to talk about the trades that I actually took on my Lucid account, the account that I care about. So it's an A setup that I took on Monday. It lost. Liquidity sweep, SMT in a 4-hour fair value gap with a CISD. Then I was waiting for an entry, so a fair value gap, because I did see this, and because it's an A setup, I could not take the CISD entry, so I had to wait. I waited for a fair value gap. It got tapped into and I entered right here and it lost. So yeah, that was very unfortunate. Then on Thursday, I took an A plus setup that ended up being a break-even trade. Beautiful setup, actually, like equal lows as target. Beautiful trade. There was a liquidity sweep, SMT in a 15-minute fair value gap. There was also a 1-hour rejection block. CISD got formed and I got in. After displacing this much and entering here, it's normal that it's gonna consolidate a little bit. After moving this much towards my TP that's in my plan, I moved my stop to break even and got stopped out there, which is okay. Draw liquidity still got hit. It does hurt, but that was a plan. Those were my two trades for the week on my Lucid account. Then I saw a lot of other trades. So this one was the first trade that I took, but I took a re-entry on my GOAT funded trader, and that was on this candle. After the wick stopped me out, I re-entered and I still lost. It was still valid. I thought maybe it wicked me out. No, it just wanted to go a little bit higher. On paper, I did take the setup when it came into the order block. It was still a valid entry above 50%, and actually it tapped to OTE in that order block, so that was perfect. I took this down to the lows and to the 1-hour fair value gap, so this was a win. Yeah, it's very unfortunate that I took a loss on my Lucid for that day. It is what it is. A win on paper. Going to Tuesday, I took this on paper, and I will explain why I took this A setup on paper. The other week, I made my rules with Notebook, and I made it a little bit too strict. So I didn't take this setup because it was actually a B setup. Yes, there was a liquidity sweep in a daily fair value gap, but there was no SMT. In my rules, there was that if there was no SMT, I cannot take this trade because it's a B setup and I'm not taking B setups in June. I did change that up because there is not always gonna be an SMT. I talked to Notebook again and I was like, okay, what do you think? Look at the stats. Is this okay? I'm not changing my rules anymore. Now I like it. So there was a daily fair value gap, liquidity sweep, CISD got created right here. So yeah, I entered on the order block actually, not on the fair value gap, because I really believed in this trade. Even though there was no SMT, so fortunate that I didn't take it on my Lucid, but it was a beautiful trade. So Wednesday, there was a liquidity sweep in a 15-minute fair value gap, CISD. We were moving a lot. These candles were huge. So my stop loss here would have been really big. I did not want to risk that much, so I did not take the trade. That's why I entered a little bit later here, which isn't a good move. We went high a lot. So this was me actually chasing price on the GOAT fund, the trader. It is what it is. Then I took this one. I also took this one on my GOAT funded trader because I know this was not an okay trade to take. And that was me chasing this move. But then we came back to this 15-minute fair value gap, took out liquidity, SMT, CISD, and I entered again on my GOAT funded trader, but I said, oh my god, I normally don't take two trades. We are so close to my target. I don't know. And I got out of the trade somewhere here because I did not want to get in that chop again, knowing that it was close to 10 a.m. because 10 a.m. loves chopping up. I already had 2 losses on break even, 1 loss actually, and I did not want to take this one. So yeah, this was my A plus setup that I actually took that ended up break even, that I explained already. Before I saw that one, I was actually looking for longs, and the only reason why I didn't take this one is because there was no good entry. And here, when there was an entry that I was like, okay, I could take it, it was way too far, already took out my liquidity that I wanted to be taken, and that's why I didn't take it. Here, CISD wasn't created yet, even though I was like, it's gonna go higher. Like, I already anticipated this move higher. I was not gonna enter on this candle, so I was waiting it to tap this fair value gap, and it inverted it and then it went higher. I was like, no, I'm not doing that, because for me it has to do like a beautiful rejection. It didn't do that, but it wasn't that weekly fair value gap, and that's why I also trusted it. So that's when I took the break even on the move going down. And then on my GOAT funded trader, I did enter also because I really believed that we were going to draw on liquidity, and I got stopped out right here. It is what it is. The entry actually should have been here, so that's my fault. Stop loss actually like at the high here. When I was opening my GOAT funded trader, it was already down, so I was like, okay, I'm not taking it. It came to this fair value gap and it retested this fair value gap. Then I was like, okay, let me enter. Stop about above here. I don't think it's gonna go higher. It did. And I also put this one in my logbook, and it's like, you know, if you just have patience, you will see other setups. There will be other setups. So here was that setup. So I wanted actually here this to come down and then to move up, that we would have come down here. That's why I took those shorts. My short was right here. It was right here. We did not take this low, and then we did. And this is the liquidity that I wanted in the beginning of the session, 9:30, that we would take this liquidity and then go higher. Still in that 15-minute fair value gap. But it's an A setup because it's not at the right timing, but it's in a macro. Liquidity, SMT, 15-minute fair value gap. CISD was CISD right here, and also a fair value gap. A beautiful trade, and if you just have patience, you will get other trades, and that's something that I have to remind myself. There will be other setups. And Friday, I did miss a setup, and it did hurt me, because I was like, that was everything that I was waiting for. I took it on my GOAT funded trader, not on my Lucid, and I ended up the week red just because if I just would have taken this setup or the one on, I think it was Tuesday, the other one, that was not an A setup at the time. Well, it's very unfortunate and we keep learning, but I did take a quick one-on-one on my GOAT funded trader, which still is something. It's a beautiful trade. 4-hour fair value gap. We had liquidity taken, SMT. It was a little SMT though, but we were chopping here so much. We were chopping here so much that I was actually scared to get in. So I said I wanted to move up with a fair value gap, and it did that. But the entry was at 10 o'clock right here, and there was news. It was not red, it was orange, but still, you do see that it did something. So I was scared that 10 a.m. would like go down, maybe take a little bit of this trend line liquidity, and then go higher. And that's why I didn't want to get in at 10 a.m. on my Lucid. So I just did it on my GOAT funded. So I did not take this on my Lucid. It ended up being a beautiful trade. It was everything that I was waiting for. And it does hurt that I didn't take this trade, because this trade would have been a win on my Lucid and me not ending the week red. But yeah, these were my trades for this week, and I'm like, I learned a lot. If you have any tips on hesitation, like, let me know. Everything is welcome. Somebody told me to do limit orders, so I'm going to try that. I'm gonna see if it's going to go better or not. But yeah, if you have any tips, let me know. I would love to try other things. I know what I need to be doing, but it still hurts that I still am hesitating. Another week has passed and I try, and we keep trying. The thing with hesitation is one day I caught it, I still execute. The other day I don't hesitate, and the other day I do hesitate, and I don't execute, and I don't catch myself. We keep trying, and on to the next week.